The Diamond Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II was a multinational celebration throughout 2012 that marked the 60th anniversary of the accession of Queen Elizabeth II on the 6th of February 1952. Queen Elizabeth is Queen Regnant of 16 sovereign states, known as Commonwealth realms, including the United Kingdom. The only other time in British history that a monarch celebrated a Diamond Jubilee was in 1897, when Queen Victoria celebrated hers. Commemorative events were held throughout the Commonwealth of Nations. Unlike the Queen's Silver and Golden Jubilees, when the Queen toured most of her realms around the world, Elizabeth II and her husband Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, toured only the United Kingdom. Other parts of the Commonwealth were toured by her children and her children as her representatives. Commonwealth-wide and beyond. At the 2011 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Perth, Australia, British Prime Minister David Cameron announced the creation of the Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Trust, which was officially launched in the UK on the 6th of February 2012. Chaired by former British Prime Minister Sir John Major, the Trust is intended to support charitable organisations and projects across the Commonwealth of Nations, focusing on areas such as cures for diseases and the promotion of all types of culture and education. In early 2012, Prime Minister of Australia Julia Gillard announced the Australian Crown in Council would make an $5.4 million contribution to the Trust, and the New Zealand Crown in Council later made a similar $1 million donation. The Canadian government announced in April that former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien would be Canada's representative to the organisation. In February 2012, a senior advisor was quoted as saying the Queen set two guidelines for the planning of her Jubilee. The use of public funds should be minimized and people should not be forced to celebrate. The first major international event of the Jubilee celebrations was the Diamond Jubilee pageant, also branded The World Comes to Windsor, a cavalcade held at Windsor Castle to celebrate the Queen's visits to and tours of over 250 countries, as well as her passion for horses. The show, which featured 550 horses and 1,100 performers from around the world, was performed in the evening between 10 and the 13th of May. After the daytime events of the annual Royal Windsor Horse Show had taken place, the Queen attended the final night. On the 18th of May, the Queen hosted an informal lunch at Windsor Castle for more than 20 current or former monarchs from other countries. In the evening of the same day, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall hosted a dinner that most of the monarchs also attended. Although the Queen herself was not present, criticism was directed at the presence of the King of Bahrain at the lunch, because of alleged repression of protests against the government of Bahrain in that country in 2011. In London, protesters against the King assembled outside Buckingham Palace during the dinner, although he did not attend that event. Google displayed a Google Doodle for the Diamond Jubilee on the 2nd of June featuring the Queen's profile, corgis and diamonds. The following day, the Thames Diamond Jubilee pageant was held, a maritime parade of 1,000 boats from around the Commonwealth, the largest flotilla seen on the river in 350 years, together with other celebrations along the river banks. Heavy rain started during the event and the commemorative Air Force flyover at the end was cancelled due to very low cloud base and bad visibility at ground level. Along with almost all members of the royal family, various governors-general from the Commonwealth realms other than the UK were in attendance. Members of the royal family, governors-general, and prime ministers from the Commonwealth realms were present at various functions held on 4 and 5 June. A reception took place at Buckingham Palace before the Diamond Jubilee concert, and a service of thanksgiving was conducted the following day at St. Paul's Cathedral, also attended by 2,000 other guests. Will Todd's anthem, The Call of Wisdom, commissioned specially for this event, was performed by the Diamond Choir, made up of about 40 children from around the UK. The Archbishop of Canterbury dedicated his sermon to the Queen, during which he noted her lifelong dedication, and stated that she has made her public happy, and all the signs of that she is herself happy, fulfilled and at home in these encounters. Another reception was held at London's Guildhall, and a luncheon took place at Lancaster House, hosted by the British Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs. A reception solely for governors-general was held by the Queen at Buckingham Palace. The lighting of thousands of beacons across the Commonwealth took place on the 4th of June. The number of beacons was originally set at 2012 by the closing date for registrations. Approximately 4,000 had been submitted in the United Kingdom alone. The first beacon of the Jubilee was lit on the grounds of Apifo College in Nuku'alofa, Tonga, by Tongan Girl and Boy Scouts using coconut sheath torches. Other nations, including Kenya, Australia, New Zealand, India, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, and several Caribbean states, took part in the beacon lighting. The world's most remote beacon was lit in Tristan da Cunha in the South Atlantic, using invasive non-native plants to fuel the fire. In the United Kingdom, British servicemen and women wounded in battle and individuals representing charities carried beacons to the summits of the UK's 4 highest peaks. One beacon was lit at Treetops Hotel in Aberdare National Park in Kenya, where the Queen was at the moment of her accession to the throne. The Queen lit the beacon outside Buckingham Palace at 10:30 p.m. by inserting a large, specially made, diamond-cut crystal into a receptacle. The lighting proceeded until the final beacon was lit in Canada 8 hours later. The Queen's husband, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, was hospitalized with a bladder infection on the 4th of June and thus was not able to attend any of the official events. In his speech given at the conclusion of the Diamond Jubilee concert, the Prince of Wales commented on the sadness of his father's absence and urged the crowd to cheer loud enough from the Duke to hear in hospital. Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, stated after visiting his father that the latter was watching the celebrations on television. The Queen visited the Duke the following day. That same evening, a pre-recorded message by the Queen was released and aired on television around the world. Elizabeth stated, "The events that I have attended to mark my Diamond Jubilee have been a humbling experience," and also expressed her thanks to those who had organized the celebrations over the extended weekend, ending by saying, "I will continue to treasure and draw inspiration from the countless kindnesses shown to me in this country and throughout the Commonwealth. Thank you all."